Welcome all my dear student of TY Basic Physics class. In previous lecture we have studied class C operation, resonant frequency, then load lines, that means AC load line, DC load lines, then different type of formulae regarding to class C amplifier, then bandwidth, after then two points, important points, that is AC collector resistance, then duty cycle and conduction angle. These three parts are remaining there. So in this lecture we are going to see about AC collector resistance, then duty cycle and conduction angle or angle of conduction for this class C operation, and later on we will see the class B push pull amplifier. Okay. Now what is the AC collector resistance? We know that series equivalent resistance for inductor is like this. Here this is source, this is capacitor, and then this is inductor, and which is connected to which is in series with a resistor RS. This is inductor L, this is capacitor, and then there is a load resistor RL. This is load resistor. This circuit gives series equivalent resistance for inductor. Now here the inductor has a series resistance RS, and this is the what I am going to say, this is a resonant circuit. Okay, this is series resonant circuit, and in this series, this is the series resistance circuit which is related to quality factor. Suppose we use inductor is there, then quality factor QL is equal to obviously XL inductance capacity, this is inductive reactance upon RS series resistor. Okay, this is the quality factor. In this quality factor, XL is inductive reactance and RS is the coil resistance which is in series. Now here above this equation gives quality factor of coil only. The overall circuit has a lower quality factor because it includes the effect of load resistance as well as coil resistance. Remember that. Now this can be replaced, series arrangement can be replaced by parallel arrangement like this. Like this, C, E, then L, then R, RL, not say RP, and then this RL. In this circuit, this series arrangement is replaced by this parallel arrangement of inductor and resistance. RP is the parallel resistance to inductor. Now here RP, R parallel is equal to QL upon XL according to this formula. Just here RS is equal to, it is not necessary. Okay, this is the RP. Now in this circuit XL and XC, because we know that XL is at 1 upon XC. These are getting cancelled when they are in parallel, then they are getting cancelled with each other, leaving RP parallel with RL. Therefore here AC resistance seen by the collector at resonance, that is RC. This RC, and this RC is equal to RP parallel with RL, and therefore quality factor overall the circuit is Q is equal to RC upon XL. This is the quality factor overall the circuit. In practice, class C amplifier, the quality factor of the coil here and here is 50 or more, since overall quality factor is 10 or more, and the operation is narrow band. Now we are going to see one of the most important terminology regarding to this class C resonating circuit. Okay. What is duty cycle? In case of class C operation, duty cycle is important and the angle of conduction is important. So what is duty cycle? Duty cycle is the ratio of pulse width upon period of the pulse, or width of the pulse upon period of the pulse. We know that. Suppose this is the pulse. This is the pulse, or this is the wave, or this is square wave and this is sine wave. Now this is the wavelength, or we can say that this is the period. This is the period, and width of the, suppose period is denoted by T, and width, suppose this is the width. Here also this is the width and this is the period of the pulse, and duty cycle D is the ratio of width of the pulse upon period of the pulse. What is width? W, and what is period? T. Therefore D is equal to, this is the duty cycle. For example, if a oscilloscope, that is CRO, displays a pulse width of 0.2 microsecond and period is 2.0 microsecond, then what is duty cycle? Obviously duty cycle D is equal to 0.2 microsecond upon 2 microsecond, 2.02, then 0.2 into 10 to minus 6 upon 2.0 into 10 to minus 6, okay, microsecond. Then obviously the duty cycle is 0.2 upon 2, or 2 upon 20 is nothing but 0.025, sorry, 0.1. 0.1 is the duty cycle. If the duty cycle is smaller, then pulse is narrow as compared to, when duty cycle is smaller, then obviously pulse width is narrow as compared to its period. And typically class C amplifier has small duty cycle, and therefore the efficiency of class C amplifier is increases as duty cycle decreases. This is very important point. You should be note what is the relation between duty cycle and efficiency of class C amplifier. Question may be asked objective type in any format, that is MCQ format or true and false format or answer in a single sentence. The efficiency of class C amplifier increases as duty cycle dash 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 decreases. Okay, this is the correct. If number of option is there. Okay. Now conduction angle. Duty cycle. Now we are going to see next one, conduction angle. It is denoted by phi. Duty cycle can be stated using conduction angle. So duty cycle D is equal to conduction angle phi upon 360 degree. If conduction angle is 9 degree, suppose conduction angle is 9 degree, phi is equal to 9 degree, then D is equal to 9 degree by 36 degree. Obviously we will have 0.025. This is the duty cycle. So we can say that duty cycle can be stated by using conduction angle. So what is conduction angle, what is duty cycle? These 2 points are very important for exam point of view. So this is about duty cycle. Now we are going to see the next point, that is okay. Now next one, class B push pull emitter follower. This is quite different as compared to other classes, but quite close to class B push pull amplifier. What is the difference between? There is a somewhat large difference between class B push pull operation and class B push pull emitter follower. Here this figure shows class B push pull emitter follower. We know that we have to remember that class A operation, in class A operation, transistor remains active in all the cycle or throughout the cycle, that is through 360 degree of AC cycle. Whereas class B operation, collector current flows for only half of the cycle, that is 180 degree of AC cycle. And to occur this situation, Q point in class A, Q point is remain at the middle of saturation point and cutoff point. Whereas in class B, the quiescent point should have to remain or should have to located at cutoff on the AC and DC load lines. The advantages of class B amplifier is low current drain, and when current drain is low, obviously there is no heating, and when heating is low in class B amplifier, the efficiency is high. In a single sentence we can say that the advantage of class B amplifier is lower current drain and high stage efficiency. Okay, this is about class B. Now class B push pull emitter. Now here this figure illustrates or gives class B push pull emitter. In this class B push pull emitter circuit, there are two transistors. One of them is PNP and another is ENPN. These two transistors, that is NPN, this is called PNP, this transistor is called PNP emitter follower, and this transistor is called NPN emitter follower, because emitter is important and collector is grounding of this one, and here supply is given to the collector. This is the contrast case as compared to class B push pull amplifier. Okay. Now here what happened in class B push pull emitter follower. In emitter follower this is different. Okay. In this emitter follower, class B push pull emitter follower, or this circuit of class B emitter push pull class B push pull emitter follower, and NPN emitter follower and PNP emitter followers are connected in push pull arrangement. That is, if one is on, another is off, or one is saturated, another is in cutoff region. Suppose this is saturated, in saturated region this is cutoff region, and vice versa. So this is the arrangement, and so we can say that in this class B push pull emitter circuit, an NPN emitter follower and PNP emitter follower are connected in push pull arrangement. Let us analyze the DC equivalent circuit. What is the DC equivalent circuit? See here, same. Suppose this is TR1 and this is TR2. Now here this is PNP and this is PNP and NPN. Just a minute, I want to check. Here the symbol is wrong. NPN, this is NPN and this is PNP. Okay. This is collector, and here see here, this is look like this, or this is the equivalent circuit. Here circuit is unbiased, same circuit is there, only we remove in this both are circuit are same. This part and this part, that is capacitor C1, C2 and Vin, and capacitor resistor RL and capacitor C. These, it means here in this difference C1 in this figure C1 V1 C2 this part and C3 R4 this part is removed. This is a complete circuit. This is a complete circuit. And this is DC equivalent circuit. DC equivalent circuit. Okay. Now here we analyze. Let us analyze the DC equivalent circuit like this. The designer select biasing resistors R1, R2, R3 and R4. Same here. Designer selecting biasing resistor to set a quiescent point near the cutoff region, and this biases the emitter diode here and here, emitter diode and emitter diode here, both emitter diode of each transistor between 0.6 to 0.7 volt, that is VCE, voltage between collector and emitter. Here also voltage between collector and emitter. Designer, what I say, the designer selecting this biasing resistor here or here, both the cases are here and here. Designer are selecting the biasing value of biasing resistor such that the this biases the emitter diode of every transistor between 0.6 to 0.7, and I think it is nearly 0.67 volt. standard one, ideal one. So that it is on verge of conduction. When this value is exceed, then transistor can conduct. Ideally, current, that is here, current ICEQ. This is the current for quiescent between collector and emitter. This is ideally 0. Ideally 0. But what happens when there is no biasing? When there is no biasing. As the biasing resistors are equal, each emitter diode here and here, each emitter diode is biased with same value of voltage, and as a result 50% of supply voltage drop at the collector of both the transistor, and therefore VCEQ, that is voltage between collector and emitter for quiescent point, is equal to half of the VCC, the supplied VCC. Okay. Now we are going to see the DC load line regarding to this class B push pull amplifier. DC load line. Sure. Suppose this is the y-axis on which collector current is taken, and this is x-axis on which voltage between collector and emitter is taken, and this is the load line. This is AC load line. Okay. And this is DC load line. This is load line. Okay. Now this is the saturation point here, and here VCC is VCC upon current IC is VCC upon 2 RL. VCC upon 2 RL. So this is saturated point or saturated region, whereas this is cutoff region, and here Q is there, but here VCC VCE is equal to VCC upon 2. So see, this is the AC load line, this is DC load line. Remember that DC load line is not important, but it gives about the heat, how heat is generated. Okay, see here the DC, there is a no DC, remember that there is a no DC resistance in collector or emitter. Here there is a no resistor is connected, that means here and here there is a no DC resistance in collector and emitter circuit. Therefore DC saturation current is infinite. This means that the DC load line is vertical. Okay, why DC load line is vertical? Because there is a no DC collector, sorry, there is a no DC resistance in collector or emitter region, and hence DC saturation current is infinite, and that's why this DC load line is vertical. The most difficult thing about this class B push pull amplifier is setting a Q point at cutoff. This is the quite difficult thing. What I say, this is the most difficult thing about designing the class B, designing is somewhat crucial. And in front of designer, there is a problem to set the quiescent point at cutoff region. So, most difficult thing about designing of this class B push pull amplifier emitter follower is setting up the stable quiescent point at cutoff region. Any significant decrease in base emitter voltage, if any significant little bit decrease in VB with the temperature, Q can move up toward the saturation point. Okay. And here in case of DC load line, it is dangerously high current. Okay. What I say? So, the most difficult thing about about designing the class B amplifier is that setting of a stable quiescent point at cutoff region, and any significant decrease in base emitter voltage between base emitter with the temperature, the quiescent point can move off here or here. And in case of DC load line, it is dangerously high current for the circuit. So, DC load line is not important, but see here, what is the indication of AC load line? This AC load line is important. When either of transistor, this or this, is conducting, its operating point moves up along the AC load line. Either of this or this is conducting, its the operating point, Q point of this or this moves up along AC load line, and the voltage swing of conducting transistor can go all the way from cutoff to saturation region. Okay. On alternate half cycle, that is, so this and this is alternate half cycle. The other transistor does the same thing, and therefore maximum peak to peak output voltage is maximum, that is MPP, maximum peak to peak voltage is equal to VCC. Okay. Now we are going to analyze this AC. I erase the figure, equivalent circuit. In that circuit, AC equivalent of conducting circuit, you have to ignore the resistance. So, see here, figure is related by myself. So, when we analyze the AC at that time, we should remember that the gain, voltage gain, is approximately equal to 1. Okay. Now, we are going to see the action of this circuit, how this circuit working. On positive half cycle, that is here, this is positive half cycle and this is negative half cycle. On positive half cycle of input voltage, suppose this is the input voltage here. On positive half cycle of the input signal, the upper transistor, this TR1 is conduct and lower is cut off. The upper transistor acts like an ordinary emitter follower, so that the output voltage is approximately equal to its input voltage. On the other hand, on negative half cycle of the input voltage, the upper transistor cut off and lower transistor is conducted or on, and this lower transistor, handles positive half cycle, sorry, this load transistor acts like an ordinary emitter follower and produces a voltage, load voltage approximately equal to input voltage. Thus, upper transistor handles positive half cycle and lower transistor handles negative half cycle. This is the working. Now, we would like to see the crossover distortion. Okay. Before, how crossover distortion is there? Suppose, I am again going to repeat, suppose this is transistor, this is transistor 2. Okay. Here the output, base, this is collector, this is collector of first one, first transistor TR1, this is TR2, and here we connect the base of the two transistors connected together and then provide input signal like this. Here also we have to ground the collector, both the collectors are grounded. And now here we are going to take the output total voltage across this RL. Okay. Here this is NPN transistor and this is PNP transistor. PNP transistor. Rather saying the transistor, this is the NPN emitter follower and this is PNP emitter follower. Okay. This is the equivalent AC circuit of class B push pull emitter follower. Suppose that there is a no bias is there. Suppose that no bias is applied to emitter diode and then incoming AC signal arises about 0.7 volt. To overcome the barrier potential of emitter diode, due to this current flows transistor TR1 and when what I say due to this current of this transistor TR1 when signal is less than here. When signal is less than 0.7 at that time current flowing through this transistor TR. Okay. Similarly, no current flows through TR2 when voltage is more than 0.7. Remember that what I am going to say, when signal is less than 0.7 below this point, then there is no current flowing through this transistor, and when that means at that time this is saturated and this is off. Now when signal is more than this voltage, when no current flow through the TR2 until the input reaches to more negative of 0.7. Hence, if no bias is applied to the emitter diodes, the output of class B push pull emitter follower looks like this. See here, output looking like this. Instead of this, output is looking like this. In this figure, this is the important point to be noted. This is the distortion. This is the output of first transistor and this is the output of second transistor. And during the clipping between this half cycle, positive half cycle, negative cycle, Due to clipping between half cycle, output is distorted. Output should be looking like this, but here distortion is produced. As clipping occurs between the time one transistor cut off and another is saturated and vice versa, the gap is look like this, and this is called a crossover distortion. To eliminate this crossover distortion, that means the output should be look like this. The quiescent point of each transistor should be somewhat little bit forwarded or slightly cut above the cutoff point. Sorry, what I say? In order to eliminate this crossover distortion, the quiescent point is slightly taken above the cutoff, and that will be look like this. This is the cutoff region, and here is the quiescent point. Now, if quiescent point is here, then output is distorted like this. In order to remove the distortion during the clipping, that is just like looking like this, what we should have to do? We should have to push this quiescent point just above the cutoff point. Okay. So this is the ICQ, and this ICQ should be 1 to 5% the saturated IC is equal to VCC upon RL. This is, or we can say that this is IC saturated. When we just push this quiescent point 1 to 5% of the IC saturation, there the distortion in clipping will remove. Okay. So instead of this, quiescent point should be here. When quiescent point is slightly above the cutoff, then we can say that the distortion is eliminated. This is very important. Okay. Now, in next lecture, we will see the next point, that is class AB operation. Till then we shall stop here. Have a good day.